mit Zeit Shawarma essen.
Oh, ja, geil. Das wäre
Jetzt
ziemlich geil.
Herzen Berlin, ja.
Hm?
Aber da müssen wir halt eigentlich auf jeden Fall streiten. Ne? Also wer hat die Shawarma ja, entwickelt? Sind die Türken, die Araber? Keine Ahnung.
Aber das müssen wir
Ist
nicht
eine,
streiten, oder? Finde ich.
hä?
Das müssen wir nicht streiten.
Ja, ja.
Nein, das müssen
Nee,
wir nicht.
Nee, das brauchen wir nicht zu machen. Das machen die in Neukölln schon unter sich aus.
Genau.
Ja.
ja.
Wir essen es einfach. Die können sich drüber streiten, wer es
Genau.
erfunden hat.
So, ich gehe mir jetzt noch ein Stück Pizza holen.
Ja.
Und dann 5 Minuten starte ich mit dem Opening. Und ich mache das Opening kürzer. Dreht nur über. Achso, ich wollte euch die Slide zeigen. Ich minimiere euch.
Ja.
Ja, den kenne ich.
Ja.
Könnt ihr sehen?
Ja.
Oh, ficken. Es geht heute nichts, ey.
Ist das, was du uns zeigen wolltest? Ah ja.
Okay?
Das sehe
Ja.
ich, ja.
Ja, hast du jetzt gesehen, oder? Achso,
Yes. Ja, ja,
ich
klar, alles.
ich rede über das und über die Themen. Und den Rest überlasse ich euch.
Was ist denn der Rest? Das war jetzt so schnell. Was war denn dann der Rest? Ja, du hast ja fast alles, außer dann logischerweise Metaverse, oder? Ich meine, wenn du sogar Power Pages und so hast, dann ist das ja so ziemlich.
Und IoT-News habe ich auch rausgelassen.
Dann bleibt ja nur noch. Da haben wir nur noch 1 Minute für alles, was wir auf der Bild über das Metaverse gesagt haben.
Boah, komm schon. So viel ist es nicht,
Nee,
was ich
genau.
erzähle. Du kannst ja dann sagen, auf das eine oder andere möchtest du detaillierter eingehen.
Ja, wie gesagt, macht ja keine Sorge, es ist mir nie passiert, dass mir die Worte ausgegangen sind.
Das habe ich aber anders erlebt auf der
das
Bild. Ich habe echt gedacht,
Ich kann tagelang erzählen.
ich hole jetzt Pizza. Ich bin jetzt kurz stumm.
Keine Sorge.
Ja, da macht er keine Sorgen.
Sharest du dein Screen für die Meshbilder? Das soll ich. Stör dich nicht?
Du hast doch gesagt, du sharest am Anfang deins und ich mach dann meins.
Ja, aber wir erzählen erstmal über die Microsoft Build News etwas früher.
Ah,
Und
ja.
dann fangen wir mit dem Talk an.
Ich lasse mich einfach da überraschen. Du weißt ja, sprachlos gehört nicht zu meinen Stärken oder zu meinen Schwächen.
Ja, nee. Hm,
Sorry, dafür
Wir haben
haben wir
das.
dieses Artist-Team. Ich schicke dich eine Woche zu Lukas und dann mache ich eine Woche Co-Design.
Wir besprechen dieses Thema nachher. Okay?
Das Thema ich sehe. Naja, aber wenn man so, also Rockstar wie du,
Ja,
kann man das machen.
genau. Also ich habe jetzt diese Slides vorgezogen.
Ich weiß nicht, sehen das die Leute schon?
Nee, ich glaube kein Essen war.
Sind noch bei der Pizza.
Ja, dann erzählen wir halt generell darüber und dann fange ich halt.
Schöne Slides.
Ja, morgen, er hat mir zugesagt. Ich werde mit ihm.
Hast du das ganze Equipment bekommen?
Nee, das Mikrofon habe ich nicht geschafft.
Ich habe gedacht, er hätte gesagt, die hätten das vorrätig.
Ja, ich war dort und dann sagte der Typ, nee, haben wir doch nicht.
April, geil. Geil.
Ja, genau. Aber ich habe das getestet mal. Ha?
Das Gimbal-Ding da?
Ja, ja.
Das hast du, oder was?
Ja.
Naja, dann musst du halt im Audio ein bisschen aufpassen, ne?
Genau. Ich
Aber
probiere
ja,
dann.
wie gesagt, man muss ja mal irgendwo anfangen. Und das ist doch ganz gut. Und Weser will da bestimmt zum Dings einiges sagen. Und da kannst du mal Danke sagen, dass er die Bilder so schön für uns gesammelt hat. Ne?
Ja, auf jeden Fall.
Er kriegt ja auch immer Credit. Wir erwähnen das auch immer. Ja.
Yes, machen wir.
Weser ist mein bester Mitarbeiter. Ja.
Yes.
Weser ist Teams-MVP, oder?
Glaub schon, ja. Moment, ich kann das nochmal schnell checken.
Aber hochinteressiert an dem guten
Metaverse.
Ich werde jetzt fast, ja, Metaverse. Metaverse. Oh Gott, ich habe vergessen, Mariano.
Was ist mit Ihnen?
Ich muss mit Mariano noch reden wegen Montag, wegen der Agenda. Nicht wegen MR Dev Days.
Ach so.
Geht um dieses EBC.
Ja. Ach so, gehst du jetzt nochmal zu Ihnen nach München?
Ja, aber nicht diese Woche, sondern im Juli ist das EBC. Und wir können ja schauen, ob sich das so kombinieren lässt, dass du vielleicht dann auch kommst. Hast ja gesagt, der Termin ist irgendwie schlecht bei dir, ja, wegen dem, keine Ahnung, deinem VR-Developer oder sowas.
Ja.
VR-Developer. VR Hololux, weißt du, wie man das schreibt?
Hololux.
VR Hololux, das war unser alter Slogan.
Schau mir gerade, hier Vesta ist Office Apps und Services. Nicht mal Teams. Vesta ist Office Apps und Services.
Okay, da ist eine. Ich weiß gar nicht, gibt es Teams als separate Kategorie?
Glaub nicht, ne.
Ich bin mir dann nicht sicher, Office Apps und Services. War ich das auch? Ich glaube, ich war das auch.
Kann sein.
Ja, ist ja aber ganz netter Kerl.
Ja. Ich glaube, morgen mache ich sogar den Interview mit ihm schon.
Ja, genau, das könnte. Hast ja ein paar Fragen irgendwo in den Reactor-Slides habe ich hier die ganze Frage noch auf Englisch. Also aber logischerweise sollst du das auf Englisch machen. Und ich weiß noch, was trinkt man in Schottland? Cider? Oder trinkt man das wo trinkt man Cider in Schottland?
Das ist eine gute Frage.
Hast du auch wie heißt denn das Ding? Wie nennt man das Ding? Skilled?
Äh,
Heißt das Skilled?
nee, was
Schottenrock.
meinst du?
Schottenrock. Hast du
Ach
sowas?
so,
Hast du nicht?
Nee,
Das ist
leider nicht.
witzig. Ne? Sehr
Leider.
bekannter, wie heißt der noch? Sehr, sehr bekannter, früher auch mal MVP, dann bei Lintex Lead. Der hat immer auf Events so einen Schottenrock angehabt. Ist gut angekommen.
Krass.
Weil ich glaube, der ist original, genau, original. Kommt der daher und da hat er auf Events immer diesen Schottenrock an. Das fällt immer auf.
Ja, krass.
Ja, du bist wahrscheinlich eher, dein Ding ist, dass du egal immer die HoloLens anhast, ne?
Ja,
Das ist dein USP.
das ist mein USB. Plus, und ich ziehe auch die.
Was ist mein USP? Hm?
Ja, dein ist, du bist selbst ein Icon.
Also, ja, das stimmt nicht. Das ist eigentlich nur der Hut. Der Hut steht mir gut,
Ja,
oder?
das stimmt. Irgendwie, das Bild ist gefroren, oder?
Sag nochmal.
Das Bild von Ralf ist. Ach so, jetzt. Nee, nix.
Ja, wahrscheinlich sitzen da schon 10 Leute und hören uns bei unserem privaten Talk zu und hoffe, dass wir NDA-Geheimnisse ausplaudern. So, falls da schon einer zuschaut.
Ja.
Hm? Ja, wie gesagt, vielleicht, ich weiß noch nicht, wann der Termin genau ist. Den will Verena noch fixen. Und dann können wir ja schauen. Ich meine, es macht ja für mich auch keinen Sinn. Das ist ein Halbtagestermin. Weißt du, dass ich da halt 4 Stunden hinfahre und nochmal zurück. Es
Ja,
wird ja Sinn machen, dass wir dann gleichzeitig, weißt du, mit Mariano das Holodeck anschauen oder irgendwas auch noch installieren oder an Demos da aufbauen. Es wird ja Sinn machen, dann gleich 2 Tage zu bleiben und vielleicht passt es ja in deine Superstar-Agenda noch rein.
nice.
Aber ja, Schottland.
Ja, ich bin gespannt. Ich
Wo
schaue mir,
landest du?
welche MVPs auch dort sind, weil
Wo
da
landet
habe
man
ich.
dann? Ich kenne eigentlich nur so in der Nähe von UK Heathrow oder wie das heißt. Wo landest du?
Da ist ein Flughafen, der heißt Glasgow oder so.
Ja,
Ich
okay,
das,
das auch, genau, doch,
das.
das auch bekannt. Ne? Wie weit ist das weg dann von der Geschichte?
Ich glaube,
Ja,
10, 15 Minuten der Bahn.
das ist
Ja.
ganz gut, ja. Ja, das ist cool. Warst ja gar nicht so viel Groß-Events, oder? Ich meine, dein Aufstieg ist ja mehr oder weniger in der Corona-Zeit passiert, oder?
Naja, beziehungsweise das größte Event, den ich erlebt habe, war mein TED Talk. Also da waren
Ja,
irgendwie
gut, ja.
3000 Teilnehmer, die mich zugeschaut haben, gleichzeitig.
Wie viele live? Alles so vor Ort?
Nein, meinte ich, genau. Das war live in München.
Nee, aber waren da auch direkt Leute oder war es nur,
Ja, ja.
ich glaube, mein größter Talk war auf der was war denn das? Wie hieß denn das? Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, wie das heißt. So ein Ignat von Microsoft in Paris. Oder in
Krass.
Berlin. Ich weiß nicht, was größer war. Das sitzt du schon stelleweise 800.000 oder 800.000, 800.000 Leute, hast du da schon halt in der Session dann live vor Ort.
Ja. Wow.
Ja, Zeit, aber wie gesagt, deine Eventzeit kommt jetzt, ja.
Ja. Jetzt kommen die Live-Sachen. Wo bleibt Ralf?
Ich denke, die Pizza schmeckt gut.
Ja, glaube ich auch. Schönerweise, nächste Woche haben wir auch gute Pizza.
Hast du Catering mit Mariano besprochen oder was?
Ja, das macht er zusammen mit Marc.
Ne, weil du sagst Pizza, verstehe ich jetzt nicht. Wo gibt's
Ja,
Pizza? Bei
ja, das
Mariano?
heißt, wir bekommen Pizza, wahrscheinlich, und Drinks.
Sprudel?
Keine Ahnung. Ja, weiß ich nicht. Über diese Sachen habe ich nicht viel gekümmert. Ich habe mehr darum gekümmert, dass wir den Event hinkriegen, Speakern.
Was ist eigentlich mit den Charts? Hast jetzt keins für den Squatty Summit, oder?
Ne, die werden erst am Montag fertig.
Ja, so Pech mit dem Timing, ne?
Ja,
Ich sag mal in Anführungszeichen einen Tag zu spät.
das stimmt. Kann sein.
Kann sein. Das kann sein.
Und wann kommst du an? Am nächsten Donnerstag?
Nee, ich komme mittwochs,
Ah, nice. Okay.
oder? Und Sabin kommt, glaube ich, donnerstags. Und freitags haben wir Microsoft Hongkong Anniversary.
Ja.
Ja. Ich weiß aber nicht, was wir da genau selbst machen müssen. Ich
Also,
glaube, wir sollten vielleicht auch ein bisschen rekorden. Ich bin mir nicht so ganz sicher, ehrlich gesagt.
okay, ich mache immer das Gleiche. Filmen,
Ja.
spiele mit den, spiele mit den
Du
Menschen.
machst das in VR und ich mache das in Reality.
Ah ja.
Ja, ich sehe dich immer mit einem Haufen Cocktails und Drinks in Virtual Reality, aber in Realität hältst du dich da ja zurück. Außer wenn es da irgend so $20 Drink gibt oder so.
Ah,
Und dann, du nicht süß genug.
jetzt passiert was.
Jetzt passiert was, ja.
Yeah,
Ja,
wow. Woo. Hat man uns?
ja.
Ich glaube nicht.
Yeah. Okay. I'm back. Let's switch to English. Can you hear me?
Ja.
Yes.
Oh, that was. I hope the lag is on your side.
Can you increase the sound volume?
Yeah, I will do it in a
Ich sehe
minute.
schon hier. Cheers.
Okay. Great.
Oh, disconnected, I guess.
The
Ja.
screen is black. Ralf,
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
the screen is black. Kannst
Mm.
on your end
Restart the
with the camera.
quit and come back. It will not catch up just like that.
Oh, good. It will come up in a minute. Wenn ich jetzt den Eingang kaputt gemacht habe, wäre es auch blöd, ne?
So, jetzt hast du gesehen. Er hat schon gezeigt. Das
ist
waren die
doch- nee, das
Bildnews
ist
zu
das andere.
Metaverse, die er gerade aufgelegt hat. Ja, jetzt ist alles.
Hören könnt ihr mich, oder?
Nein.
Nein.
Ja, ich meine, es spielt ja keine Rolle, was man auf die Frage antwortet. Ist ja wohl eine redundante Frage, wenn jemand antwortet. Eine rhetorische Frage ist das wohl, oder?
Ihr seid außerhalb.
Ja, wir hören dich ja.
Ja.
So. Still black. Nice. Ich habe den Ausgang geschrottet. Tom, da ist noch eine zweite Kamera drin.
maybe take the power off and then.
Das ging sehr viel zu einfach. Nee. Die Kamera ist in da ist noch eine so eine Tasche.
Also,
Nicht?
ist noch so eine Tasche?
Ja, hätte eigentlich sein können. Nein, ich habe nur eine Kamera mit. Oh, schade. Nein, ich habe die andere hier. Nee, Quatsch, du hast die Kamera da schon drin. Da ist noch eine drin in den Seitentaschen, in den grauen Taschen. Ja. Hast du es? Ja. Philipp hat mir noch eine Verlängerung empfohlen. Für die HDMI-Kabel, damit ich nicht immer drüber stolper. Dankeschön.
Was ist denn das Problem?
Dass ich gerade die Kamera neu ausrichten muss, beziehungsweise dass ich eine neue Kamera drauf mache, damit ihr mich wieder seht oder uns. Das macht Sinn, oder?
Ja, die anderen ja, die weniger. Ja.
Haben wir gleich, Männer.
I could bring a topic just for a minute. I went on the website of the build conf, and there are some news that everyone who completes the challenge becomes one of the free certification.
Ja.
So you don't have to pay for to pass the exam, and the offer is still open. So if someone's interested, just go to the build site, and there you can see the conditions and the application.
It's the learning section for the build, what you're talking about.
Can you send a link?
I'm not sure. I can show it on my phone, so just come by and I'll show.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Cloud skill challenge is the correct one.
Sorry, I just see it. You told me it's in German.
If the description
This
is
is
in
what I
English.
also understood, Ralph.
Huh?
Also thought it's in German.
You can talk in
Yeah,
German if
because
you
I
want
don't
to.
know,
The
somebody
audience
asked
won't listen.
Yeah, somebody asked me if it's in German or English. Then I asked, and then they said it's German. It was a guy from the Ukraine, and he may said he anyway want to join. I hope he's here. I'm not sure. Is it a hybrid stream? Huh? Whoever, when you watch, it's in English.
Weißt du, was sein kann? Dass das Kabel hinüber ist und gar nicht die Kamera. Das finde ich auch. Deutlich bessere Variante wäre das. Das ist
The whole cable is broken, I think.
yeah. In the best case, is the cable broken?
Hard to believe they are normally very good as well.
Let's hope.
Yeah, we'll see at least.
Ralf, bringen wir jetzt wieder Curry. Uns ist das Curry ausgegangen.
Wie ist das Curry ausgegangen?
Ja, letztes Jahr hast du uns ja alle so Curry geschickt.
Das war nicht letztes Jahr.
Echt?
Das war vorletztes Jahr.
Das ist alles lang her.
Okay. Jetzt könnt ihr uns wieder sehen, also mich auch. Ja?
Ja.
Okay. Cool. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, so I'm switching now to my PowerPoint presentation. Welcome to our Microsoft Build After Party. What happened? Microsoft Build happened. And after Microsoft Build happened, we're happy to share the news with you. Who am we? So me, my co-host Thomas and me, Ralph, we are willing to share the news with you, happened and announced on Build. We are the Azure Developer Community meetup in Munich. Please join us. At Azure Dev MOOC is our Twitter, and we also have a website. The title is completely bullshit because I'm not talking about static web apps. But this is the original agenda, and we're late. And you see, Edit 7 and my colleagues are waiting for their show, so I'm just heading over to them. What I want to share with you too is we have a Wi-Fi if you want. 3, 2, 1, gone. Please give feedback on this link. You really help us a lot with that. Why? Because that goes directly to Microsoft. And we were asked to host Microsoft after parties, Build after parties, and they are asking you to have that feedback. And I just want to ensure that everybody is giving a feedback, so that will help us a lot to provide you also in future with nice meetups.
And right name is Azure Dev.
Right, just say it short. I just help to get more pizza and beer, right? So.
Yeah, just to get more pizza and beer. You're completely right, Christian.
I'm already on it, you know.
Okay, that's very cool, really cool. Okay, that would probably go wrong now.
And a bit less.
I hope I can. Oh, okay. I've switched it a little down, so my voice is now no more that loud. Also in the stream, I hope that will be okay. Maybe you can check that. So please give us feedback. I just want to go over a few cool, nice features which is Microsoft now providing. So one of the things is what I'm really curious about is the Microsoft DevBox. What is that? It's not GA yet. It's in a preview state. And you can sign up by clicking on that link to be, again, one of the testers of the DevBox. What is the DevBox for you? It will be a raised up virtual machine having all the workloads installed, pre-installed for you to act as a developer in the Microsoft universe. And that's it. It's really cool. Why is that so important for me? You've ever dealt with different customers, different projects on the same computer, having different versions and all that stuff? That's really shit and fuck up, right? So with that, you can avoid a lot of work and you can give feedback here. So sign up for the preview and have a lot of, convenient work done very fast. Another thing I want to share with you is really cool.
Ralf, one question here. So
yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm also super excited about the DevBox.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't get all of the news. You know if that has GPU, because we really use already some of that M365 stuff. What we two questions I have. So we have with M365 Windows now the issue that we cannot use virtualization. You cannot run WSL or Docker on it. And the second one is it does not have GPU, and we cannot use something like Unity. Do you know if
DevBox will have it? I don't know if DevBox will have it.
Okay.
They
then
don't,
you
they
know
don't
as much
share
as
that
me.
much details yet, so it's a private preview, and you have to sign up, and you don't get any information.
I did already, yeah.
Yeah, okay, me too, but I'm not yet released it.
I'm on the same page.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I also no
nice.
reply.
Okay. We'll keep us informed, huh? Shoot me. The Microsoft Edge Dev Tools for VS Code is really, who's doing slightly or mainly front-end app development? I mean, in web. Who's doing that? Slightly. Yeah, but you're doing it. And what do you do when you're, when you're developing the website? You open Chrome, hitting F12, and exploring all the stuff inside, right?
Yeah.
Imagine that shit is now an extension in your Visual Studio Code. And you can now set breakpoints to JavaScript and execute that shit in your Visual Studio, and they'll hit the breakpoint and you exactly will see what's inside. Is that cool?
That's cool, yeah.
That's really a cool thing. That's GA. Download, install, use it, and be happy with it. I've done a ton of jobs with it already, and I really enjoy and like it, because that stuff is making my life so much faster. Okay? So this is the one thing, and a few more things. The curious thing about everything, who is using AKS now? A Kubernetes cluster? Nobody? No, for sure not. Yeah, it's not the White Duck meetup. I don't know. She is White Duck. But container apps are doing that within a snap. So you're no longer deploying an AKS, which means you have virtual machines underneath and all that stuff, or you're deploying and hosting that with your own environment. You now have the possibility to deploy your container just to the container apps. And what happened today is the custom domains are also GA. So you can now set up a custom domain to your Azure Container App for sure. And both are GA, so that means you can go now for productive with it. And Christian, are you going to migrate stuff to that? Container apps.
Talk to me?
Yes, I'm talking to you. Is there another Christian?
Yes, indeed. I was extremely, that was personally, let's say two things in the build I liked the most. That was actually the dev box, because we have really pain with that.
Yeah.
I really was looking for this, so I'm super excited about this. And the second one is a really big fan of data. And I also don't want to get my hands on Kubernetes. That's, I'm more a developer. I really do not want to have the burden of managing a Kubernetes cluster. That's where always Dapper just playing around. And indeed, I have a very large project that is just migrating because of this. So I'm super, super happy about this.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for that. And then I was lucky enough to be one of the guys exploring GitHub Copilot. Do you know what GitHub Copilot is? Have you ever checked it out? Yeah. It is, kind of amazing. And on the other hand, it is like, scaring, right? Because, you just hit // writing a comment, and it's doing all the code down. And with the time, it learns your style of coding, and that's pretty cool. Have you checked that out that deep, that you see that Copilot is doing your code? That's really cool. So that's GA now. Sign up, use it. I'll really like it. .NET MAUI is GA. What is .NET MAUI? Thomas?
Xamarin on steroids.
Yeah, that's a good one. Xamarin on steroids, and that means you now have a new framework to do crossover app development. That means for iOS, for Android, is Windows Phone coming soon? Okay, so it is still there, still alive, and with MAUI, they are promising that you'll be easier with one code deploying to more devices than before. Power Pages. Power Pages is now another M365 service, which is the Power App at the end of the day. And you can set up really fast and quick with templates a website at the end of the day. It is, Wix, Wix? Yeah. It's somehow like that. But with your business data on behind, that's much more cooler. And you have authenticating inside, and you have roles inside, and you have, all that stuff, what you have in Power Apps, you can do with that Power Pages. Really cool. And Express Design. I was little, it's Power Apps. And I'm by heart a software developer. And Power Apps is like clicky, clicky, colorize, done. I'm not that friend of, I mean, there were questions about that, but that was really cool. That was just a sign of, I mean, they scribbled an app and how it should look like. Then they take a photo, uploaded that to the Express Design app, and what then happened is it set up an application for you with all the details from that sketch. Can you imagine that? And you just have to add the few functionality behind, and it was really looking like the scribble they've done before. So Express Design is really a cool tool. If you have an M365 tenant, check it out. Otherwise, go for the demo tenant and check it out there for free. And really, that's a cool thing I just wanted to share with you. So for me, those are, I mean, the two before and those were the most exciting news we had. Patrick, do we have anything else to share?
No, I think that's the most important part.
That was the most important, yeah. Christian and Zaid were both a bit disappointed that they couldn't share that with you because I have it on my slide. I don't want to go deeper into that because they are waiting now for half an hour to entertain you now.
Yeah.
And
What is quite, 1 second, Rob, what a little bit interesting is there's one also a very exciting announcement. I also didn't get it. Is somehow that they move all the BI tools together, but I really found out that's not my world. And I see that's the news that you somehow also skipped a little bit. And I see it's not so a developer topic because it was also something that they merge all the BI tools somehow in one thing, but I even cannot remember the name.
Me neither. There is one more service, which is the Microsoft Intelligence Data Service, is it?
Something like this, yes, exactly.
Yeah, so they try to implement it with AI and all that stuff to combine data and provide a more Dataverse style like data storage for you. I mean, now another data storage kind of thing. Okay, Christian, I do not have anything more, just one more thing. So that's me. If you want to follow me, my personal account is that. I also want to ask you to personally, if you are into green software development, if you're interested in being more sustainable, so go to www.greenmanifesto.de and sign up for it, so that you are supporting green software development. Sustainability is not a question to our government, is not a question to companies. Sustainability starts with us, and it is with us and our responsibility to force governments and companies to be more sustainable. So it is up to you to sign up and to support that and to be more into sustainable software development. Yes, please.
Sorry, I actually was in AWS summit meetup, and they are bringing sustainable software design as a sixth pillar of white paper, great design. Do Azure do it also right now?
Well, Azure and so Microsoft, we don't talk only about Azure, we talk about Microsoft in the whole company. They founded, before we founded the Green Manifesto, I mean 6 months before us, they founded the Green Software Foundation. Though go there, the Green Software Foundation Summit will happen in June. I'm not sure about the date exactly, but it will happen now, so we're on it already. And there are more companies into like Microsoft itself. So there are bigger companies inside bringing up sustainability within software coding, which is really an important thing. So go there, sign up, be with us. It has also a meetup, so free pizza and beer is granted there as well. Okay, Christian, Zaid, I have to announce you and I have to bring you up on the screen after I've shut down my presentation here. Come on, there you are. So I have two of my fellows. First of all, Christian, who hasn't read his biography, Christian is his owner and founder of Hololux, a company who is dealing with what? I mean, Hololux. We don't have to talk about the topics, right? And then we have Zaid, one of his employees, both Microsoft MVPs, and I'm very happy that they are willing to give us an introduction to a thing which is, I mean, how will you touch it? How will you experience it? How will you describe mixed reality? And I'm curious to hear and listen to you. And I'm also curious about to learn what is the metaverse, that new hot shit topic driven by the big companies, big players are talking about that. I mean, have Elon Musk it already? I don't know, but it is that big thing. So metaverse is also one of the topics we will hear from them. And I just want to hand over to you, both of you, welcome here, and here's your warm clapping hands. Good. Can you hear that? That's just for you, man.
Yeah, woo!
Start up. It's your stage now.
Thank you so much. Cool. So maybe a very short introduction. So what is today our journey? So Christian and I are going to bring you closer to the mixed reality space, especially the HoloLens area, and then taking the curve to the metaverse. So this the buzzword that we have been hearing in the last few months. And I even have also here on site with me a HoloLens 2. And I intend and hope to show a live demo. So this is something I really love, and that Christian and I love doing. So let's really cross the fingers that it works. Maybe do you have some words, Christian, before we start?
No.
Awesome.
I have many words here, so I'm curious. I wait a little bit what you say. I think we do it kind of a good cop, bad cop again.
Yeah.
Because I will also tell the
yeah, definitely.
The bad side.
Yeah, nice stuff. So let me share my
screen.
No, just a second. Yeah, and of course, within our talk at the end, approximately, we will wrap up what we heard on the Microsoft build in regards to the metaverse topic. So just a second. Just a second. Oh, no. Shit. I had a small bug in here.
Bug in Teams.
No, in PowerPoint. Just a second. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and let's rock. And
yeah, you must excuse him. He is Windows MVP, not Office Server and Services or something like this.
that's it.
But it was a nice demo how to start PowerPoint over Teams via screen share.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you very much. So as mentioned, we will be giving a short introduction on mixed reality and HoloLens 2, what the area is, and then into a live demo with the HoloLens, and then taking the curve to the metaverse and wrapping up Microsoft build. Let's begin with our agenda for today. As mentioned here, a little bit detailed. Sorry, it's in German. There was some miscommunications. We will begin with an introduction about mixed reality and HoloLens. Before that, I love always to do a small introduction round, sharing a little bit our story, Christian and I, how we met, and then we will get to know what is mixed reality and see what our application areas or what use cases are there where the HoloLens 2 technology is applied in. We will check on live demo, applying Azure Communication Services directly with our Holospaces application, a mixed reality collaboration tool that allows us to, with the HoloLens, to join a Teams call. So this is our live demo. Let's look forward to that, and then I will be passing the talk to Christian, who would be talking a bit about his vision on the metaverse, what we have been doing as Hololux in the metaverse space, and taking consideration like different platforms like AltspaceVR, Holospaces, and our the amazing Microsoft Mesh for Teams that we heard a lot of in the last few days. And then we will see where is the HoloLens, where is the metaverse is applied in, and then a short sum up of the metaverse content on Build. Exactly. So Christian, please feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Thanks, Said. So you heard my name, Christian Glessner. I'm the founder of Hololux, and my vision or my passion for IT started super early. My parents had this travel agency, and I grew up literally between computers. I don't know how it's called even in English, with Lochstreifmasken. That's the yellow paper where you had holes in it to save data. And somehow as a kid, I played with that, and then I saw the sparkling screens, amber blinking screens of AS400. Seems they invested early in IT, and that's how I grew up. And I was always super fascinated about IT, and especially the thing for developing to complete something completely new from scratch, just creating something new. And for sure, when all that topic came with mixed reality, VR, AR, Metaverse, call it however you want, for sure, that's super cool, and my childhood dream came much closer with this, because now we really can build the real worlds. We can really build the worlds. We can decide the weather. We can decide about physics, and we really can go into this. And so, for me as a developer, it's kind of my dream. I can really build whole worlds with mixed reality and metaverse. So. Either I work 24 hours a day almost, or I work 0, because I heard when you do what you love, you do not work 1 minute in your life. So actually, I think I'm pretty happy I never work.
Nice, awesome. Thanks, Christian. Cool. So few words about myself. So I'm Zaid Zaim. Mixed reality catalyst at Hololux. So at my role at Hololux, I love introducing people to mixed reality, engaging with them, and giving a perspective what mixed reality and the metaverse is. So something similar what we're doing today. And I'm also Microsoft MVP. I've been recognized with the MVP last July, so pretty much fresh in the MVP Microsoft family. And and I'm also a TEDx speaker. So I came a little bit about my background. So I'm originally from Syria. I came to Germany in 2013 because of the war in Syria. And here in 2019, I had the opportunity to pitch one of my first mixed reality projects that uses the HoloLens technology to bring cultural heritage back to life. So as you probably know, in Syria, there are many cultural sites that were destroyed throughout the war in Syria, in the civil war. And I'm using mixed reality together with an incredible community to partly bring history with modern technology back to life. And here we see, for example, a visualization of the Arc of Triumph in Syria, how it could be visualized on site with the HoloLens. Later on, I would share the full story on that, and maybe here you can later on have a look on the video. Exactly. And one of the passions Christian and I share is definitely we love hackathons. And this is where we actually met each other in last November. So I connected with Christian when I became an MVP. We saw there is a really cool opportunity, the ITS hackathon in Hamburg last year. And here we teamed up together. We have done what we really love, demonstrating mixed reality and applying this in a really cool theme, in a cool project with awesome people, and using mixed reality for accessibility, helping people to navigate, blind people to navigate their way in public stations, public transportation stations. So as you see here, we love also here live demos. So we really blindfolded Yannis, who really demonstrated how the HoloLens could in the future, or mixed reality in general, can help people to navigate their ways. Exactly. So any opportunity in hackathon, you would definitely see us rocking the stages in there. Yeah, so enough storytelling. Let's talk now a little bit about mixed reality. This is the incredible hummingbird that we will that is one of the symbols of the HoloLens that allows you actually to get this hummingbird on your hand. Your hands get tracked by the HoloLens. Then by moving your hand, the hummingbird follows you. So that's really insane in 3D. Exactly. So here a small evolution of the computing. So beginning here at first, remembering the laptops in the late 1990s, 2000s, how this was really mind-blowing, that changed our interaction with digital information. So I remember recently taking some lessons in school on the one of the first computers, like the SUSE computers, and that was a huge computer in the space, and do not even really able to do high computing powers. And then here, looking further in around the years 2006, 2007, it reminds me when the first the cool smartphones came out. So remembering, for example, the first iPhone, or the first presentation of Steve Jobs presenting the first iPhone, that is really unifying different components and capabilities, which are calling others, surfing the internet, and hearing music. So this was a really revolutionizing opportunity, and all of that is fitted in your pocket. And now, when we speak about mixed reality and HoloLens technology, we always speak of the fourth computing revolution. And again, here, it's revolutionizing and rethinking, redesigning the way of how humans interact with digital content and information. So as we mentioned before, we will later see this hopefully also in the demo. You are as a user, as an end user, you are the one who would be manipulating the environment that you are in. For example, here we see the hummingbird directly coming into your space and having a virtual pet, for example. So we have been talking a lot about the term mixed reality. So what is actually mixed reality? Mixed reality has incredibly many definitions, but I would maybe share with you in a nutshell my own definition. So mixed reality is basically a spectrum that spans from the virtual reality to the physical reality, our real world. These are two subcategories under mixed reality. So in virtual reality, the user puts on a VR glass, for example, like the Oculus Quest. And in this case, you're then completely immersed in digital worlds where computer-generated worlds where you can, I don't know, you can go to Mars, hang out with Einstein, drink a virtual beer. That we will spoiler.
Yeah, most of the time I only meet you, Side. Most of the time I only meet you drinking virtual beer.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Einstein
correct.
I didn't meet, but I see in every party side.
Probably. Exactly. So virtual reality brings you everywhere where you want to be at. So without boundaries, without anything. So basically put on the VR device and you are in the heaven or anywhere where your mind would like you to be at. Exactly. And in virtual reality, so your consciousness is really focused on the computer generated world on this digital environment, and you cannot really perceive things from the real environment or the physical environment that you are in. Exactly. So that is virtual reality, and augmented reality is also a really cool topic. We heard a lot of it maybe in the years like 2016, 2017, when the boom of Pokemon Go came out, for example, so having your mobile phone, I remember just going on the streets in Berlin and trying hunting for the digital Pokemons. I almost got into very close to the Kanzleramt, so I needed to leave and go away and leave that Pokemon. So in augmented reality,
where was the chief Pokemon? Was it in the Kanzleramt or what?
Yeah, almostly. Yeah. To be honest, yes. Yeah. So in augmented reality, we overlay the digital content into the physical world. So here, the really important key point is we overlay the digital content. So the content is really, as we are saying, it's overlaid on our environment, and exactly. So this is AR. When it comes to mixed reality, it is then the fusion of both VR and AR. So in this case, we have here the HoloLens device from Microsoft, the HoloLens 2. So you wear the HoloLens and you can see the real environment. I can see everything here in the surrounding, and I can also at the same time see the digital content.
So can you show us what you see?
Yes, in a bit. So I'm still not done. So exactly. So this is how the HoloLens again also looks like. So also here on the surface we have some sensors, depth cameras, that allows the HoloLens to recognize and scan the environment. So the HoloLens in the background creates a 3D representation of the surrounding that you are in. And this allows you then to integrate digital content into the physical world. So as mentioned, the HoloLens scans the environment, and then you can get a cube, or I don't know, a digital fragment, and then you can place it anywhere in the physical world. So it gets really integrated into the physical environment. We can imagine, okay, we have here a table, and then you can put the cube or any machine, for example, here on the table, and then it's really part of the real environment, and you can see everything in the surrounding where you are in. So this is again the important key point compared to VR and AR. Mixed reality allows us to integrate the digital content into the physical world as if this is part of our real environment.
1 second here. Ralph, can you turn the camera around? Because I also see double the screen, but it would be more interesting to see the audience. You can just go ahead side. I think maybe he heard it, or maybe nobody's there anymore. Everybody's at the pizza. Want to check that everybody's careful listening what we're saying? Yeah. Okay, so yeah. I hope we have soon a break. My wine.
Somehow I am having some challenges with. I feel that my screen is not anymore sharing.
Really? Because I see still the HoloLens.
Yeah, that's wrong. Actually, let me maybe try.
Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunately I found out that sometimes happen with this sharing over Teams that the slides hang. You just have to reshare it again. That's a bug. Now you found a bug in PowerPoint. You found a bug in Teams.
Yeah, no worries. All is good. Give it a try again.
Yeah, just present in Teams.
Just a second. Okay, cool. No, not cool. No. Exactly. So with the HoloLens, as it has the different depth sensors on the surface, it recognizes also your hand. So the cool thing is, as we mentioned before, so you as a user are able to manipulate the events and actions happening in the physical world, and there are no controllers, and you can really interact with the objects as if you are interacting with real physical objects. Here you can see, can really grab an object, rotate it and scale it, for example, and exactly as if we have natural behaviors. Exactly. Another input opportunity or input system in the HoloLens is the eye tracking. Also, the HoloLens can recognize also where the user is looking through the eye tracking technology. And then, for example, taking the example that we have a text, and you can look on the bottom of the text area, and then the text, for example, automatically scans or scrolls the text panel. Another cool use case I saw recently, for example, is that you can look on different objects, and then when really you look on an object, it starts, for example, dancing or manipulating the object, for example. Exactly. So now we will talk a little bit about the use cases that are on the mixed reality stack. So we can see in general four pillars. The first one is immersive gaming and social presence, immersive collaboration, remote assistance and inspection, and digital twins and AI and simulation. So in the first pillar on the left, immersive gaming and social, we have all the gaming stack of Microsoft. Especially here, we would, for example, have a look later on AltspaceVR, VR social platform from Microsoft that were able actually to bring people together in times of Corona where no social presence was possible. Immersive collaboration is the best example here is Microsoft Mesh platform that we will also hear a little bit on that when Christian would be talking on that. So, but in a nutshell, Microsoft Teams, Mesh for Teams, allows you to collaborate with people in mixed reality. And with Mesh for Teams, you are able to enter a Teams call immersively and then collaborate with others to get to solutions faster. And then the most applied use cases in the HoloLens, as it is an enterprise industry device, it is mostly applied in remote assistance and maintenance. So here we see the concrete example, for example, having the situation that we have an engineer, for example, in Germany, and an intern, let's say in China, for example, and here the intern is facing a lot of challenges, how to find a solution for a problem on a machine. So you can connect directly with the engineer, and then so fast coming to a solution for the problem. Here we see the engineer joining the intern, for example, directly, immersively, and he can even start drawing things in on the physical object virtually. Here we have the concrete example again, having the situation here on the other end, the engineer supervising the employee. Where are the challenges? Exactly. And here also the most cool example here is the application of remote assist Dynamics 365, and it's also accessible as an AR augmented reality application. But comparing this with a HoloLens or with a mixed reality use case, you can really hand-free interact with the challenges that you have. So when we always speak about mixed reality, we can't forget about the Microsoft Azure cloud. So on the Microsoft Azure cloud, there are really cool Azure mixed reality services. I would only highlight for now the Azure remote rendering service that allows you basically to render complex 3D objects on the Azure cloud and stream this directly to the HoloLens. For example, we saw yesterday a really cool announcement on the Microsoft Mixed Reality Dev Days that they are now enabling uploading point clouds to the Azure cloud, and these get totally directly streamed into your HoloLens device. Christian, are you playing around with the slides somehow? Because
I do not play with anything.
Okay, seems okay.
Maybe it's Thrive, because when you didn't block it, everybody can switch. Now I think nobody plays around.
Yeah, let's give it a try again.
Why didn't? What's the matter? It didn't switch.
I don't know. I had the feeling there was the slides were going further by themselves.
By the way, you do not have to click them all. You can just click. There's a small icon.
I see. Exactly. So the remote rendering service allows you to get complex 3D objects that directly rendered from the cloud onto the HoloLens, as the HoloLens is not a supercomputer. It has also some limited computing power. So this enables you then to really have a look on complex 3D objects. Like here, we see the engine, and it's always very important for engineers, for example, to have these high details in a 3D model. So yeah, now we want to show Holospaces. I will show how this first looks like in virtual reality. Just a second. Just a second. Good. So Holospaces is our mixed reality collaboration tool that we developed at Hololux in the last few years. And let's have a look how it looks like. So you can do cool keynote stuff there, collaborate with others in 3D. You're getting, for example, some IoT dashboards, having a real-time meeting, and enhancing machines, digital content virtually, like telemetry, and directly integrate with this collaborative here we're called and after a successful meeting, collaborate and cheer together. Exactly. So this was the experience, how it looks like in virtual reality. So, and now I will demonstrate how Holospaces looks like in the HoloLens and how we used Azure Communication Services to join the Teams call with a HoloLens.
Allowing which session code do you use? I indeed could even join with the Quest.
Yeah, I need to check. Just give me a second.
I'm not sure if I have the right version on it. Just a spontaneous idea, but however, should proceed with the demo.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, I'm currently turning on the HoloLens. I see some cool holograms here and there, and let me for a second mute myself in the HoloLens on my PC, and we will see each other. You will see my vision directly from the HoloLens. So maybe Christian, when we see the HoloLens feed, you can put the HoloLens into Spotlight. Possible.
I can do that.
Yeah, just a second.
And as I said, when you know the session code, just post it. I can try spontaneous to enter it also via Quest, but it's just optional. I'm waiting for you joining here, Side. Ah, yeah. So I put you on Spotlight here. Did you do that already? Yeah.
Nope, I did not do anything. So I'm just going to my balcony.
We just can see something red here.
Yeah. So now, maybe?
Yep. Yeah, applause.
Cool stuff. So yeah, here is my balcony. Welcome to Berlin. Exactly. So you see here also the hand mesh.
Ralph, can you make it on Spotlight? It seems I cannot put it on Spotlight here somehow. I'm not sure if it's from the permissions from my side, but I think you can do it on kind of full screen there.
Yeah. So yeah, the cool thing is we can play a little bit. Can draw.
Yeah, thank you.
We can draw together. I really love drawing in 3D.
Yeah, I'm not sure on my side. It's because, you know, you're maybe on the balcony. It's a little laggy, so move in slow motion.
I will do my best.
You know, the people drink beer, and when they see all that shaking, you do not want that, you know.
Yeah, okay. So this is how we created maybe a simple graffiti now.
We just
where
can
is it?
see your balcony. We do not see any graffiti except on your hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, side, you must really be move the head a little slower because yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe my internet is actually fast. But okay, no worries.
Yeah, we see it, but you know, it's a little jumpy, and
Yeah.
when you move the head so fast, it's hard to see something.
Yeah. Okay. Where are the 3D objects? The menu. Okay, this is actually the fun fact of a live demo, that sometimes things do not work that fast. So maybe let me try closing the app and re-entering again. Maybe that helps. Let's give it a try.
Yeah, I think it was not the issue of the app. It's somehow it's yeah. Well, Ralph, how you experienced that on your side? On my side, it looks like yeah, there is, I don't know, one frame per second.
Same. So we do have a freeze.
1 frame per second, right? Yeah, that's
No, we do not have a frame. It's just we have a freeze. And now we see the hand in his webcam.
Yeah.
So that's really an issue.
Yeah, but you can imagine this demo would be quite dangerous in virtual reality on the balcony.
Oh yeah, for sure. We are lucky not seeing him falling down from the balcony.
Yeah. So maybe when he's not there,
Christian,
even in the demo in Hamburg, the guy almost fell down the stairs because it doesn't matter.
Christian, maybe
so be careful with that stuff. It's dangerous.
Christian,
never use the HoloLens blindfolded.
Christian, are you listening?
Yes.
Okay. So can you explain what this demo was like? So what about you're trying to demonstrate here?
What I demonstrate is that we published on, as an open source project, by the way, a Unity plugin and Unity binding for, for Azure communication services. That means you can quite easily, with a little Unity skill, you can bring in your Unity app, 3D models, whatever you have, in a call like this. And this is an example he just showed for Holospaces app where you can load 3D models. Now it's better, by the way, side.
Okay, that's great. I don't know what the challenge was.
Yeah,
so I will load
the internet issue somehow.
Maybe.
Ralph will make you on Spotlight. So but just to end it, so he just show you that you can easily integrate a HoloLens app, for example, or a Quest app into Teams.
Indeed.
So, but however, the frame rate is much better side, but it would also be good when you move your head a little slower. You know, there are the things, I don't know, you get it. I think for HoloLens demo, you put, I don't know how that's called, Halskrause into it. I think that would be the best for HoloLens demos.
And this is, for example, the engine that we saw before in the...
We can see, and the word you're looking for, Christian, is a stiff neck.
Ah, yeah, okay. I think that would be really good for HoloLens live demos.
Yeah. So here, making the digital content accessible for wide audience. Okay, not the motor model. Exactly. So this is, for example, one example how we demonstrated Azure Communication Services in mixed reality. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, so I'm sorry that the frame rate was not so great. It really depends heavily on the frame rate.
Well, for sure.
And I think you maybe have off the balcony, I think you might have not the best wireless connection. But what you also see with all this technology is 5G is quite important because HoloLens is also a mobile device, and 5G will for sure also be an important enabler for all this mixed reality AR cases.
So I'm back. Oh, I see many.
Yeah, so it was a little laggy from the frame rate. I think maybe on the balcony, the wireless is maybe a little bit bumpy.
How realistic is
I can't hear you.
So however, what I also want to tell here is you can also share the link. It's open source. Unity binding, where it's super easy to integrate Microsoft Teams into a mixed reality app.
How realistic is augmented reality to the wearer? Like, can you distinguish a real chair from artificial chair, and so on?
Did you get it, Christian?
Side?
No, again, I did not got the question.
How realistic is augmented reality to the wearer? Can you distinguish like artificial chair from real chair, and where is the limit?
Exactly. So it depends, I think, on the use case where you want to go with it. So as mentioned, if you want to have really hyper realistic stuff, photorealistic objects, this could be, for example, really well achieved with rendering services like the one provided by Azure, that gets you really real, almost so real 3D objects, and until you can also create very limited, easy looking 3D polygons, 3D objects in that.
Yeah, what you mentioned is really one of the large challenges with mobile VR, because that's rather mobile phones and rendering really complex. I'm not sure how deep you are at the 3D thing, but 3D objects are beasts. They have millions of polygons sometimes, and you cannot render this on a small device. And a technology like Azure Remote Rendering does it remotely. So the GPU is running in the Microsoft cloud, and you just get kind of a 3D video stream. But you also can imagine that's quite cool, because you can kind of limitless bring complex objects in, quite realistic. The downside also is, like you saw a little bit, you really need a good internet connection. If not, it will also be super laggy, because actually the rendering happen remote. But that's exactly the use case. When you have it super realistic, Azure Remote Rendering is your friend.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Great. You've answered the question. More questions?
Have you connector for CAT? You will plan a connector for CAT systems as input for your devices.
You mean computer-aided devices, CAD?
Yeah, that's a very common question, and I can also say in Holospace we have an automatic pipeline. We convert CAD objects, step files, and IGES files, EGIS files. I don't know what in English exactly, but we had in Holospace the pipeline, and we crunch them, because usually you cannot just bring a CAD model in, because the polygon, there are two things that you can do to bring in a more complex model. You can crunch it. There are some algorithms, to maintain the shape, but you recalculate it and make it smaller, but it loses some details. That's what we also did in Holospaces. We automatically crunch them. And then there's another option with remote rendering in Azure, where you bring it really in this quality. So when you bring in things, you always have this chance. You usually cannot bring just in a CAD model without crunching it, because it has too many polygons. And so either Azure Remote Rendering or you crunch it. And by the way, I do not want to make advertising here for Holospaces. We deprecated that product in favor for Mesh. So we rather work very close with Microsoft to help them to build a Mesh. But that's actually a good point. and you either lose some details when it's more about shape, or you have to use a service like Azure Remote Rendering. But one-to-one is really hard with the same quality.
Does that answer the question? Great.
Hi, I have 2 questions.
I think now I will hand it over to Christian to take us on a journey to the metaverse.
Okay.
Yeah, bear sake with us. There are more questions, so please let the customers ask the questions.
Hi.
So I just run away.
Go ahead.
Hello. What is the cheapest way for me as a developer to get one HoloLens?
Yeah, the cheapest one to get HoloLens is you do not get a HoloLens, you get a HoloLens emulator.
Yeah.
So that's the cheapest. I'm not sure what other options there is to buy them somehow used or something. There are. Well, I think there is an option. I think that when you want to kind of releasing, I think with the dynamics together, when you take remote assist, I think I'm not sure, it's $99 or something like this. It's also included the HoloLens.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's
you
rather.
have to set up then the whole dynamics. Christian, come on.
No, you do not have to set up. You only. I think there is a special offer with buying the remote assist as license together with the HoloLens, something like this. I'm not sure if that offer is still there, but do you know that?
There was a $99 leasing model. Is that still in place?
That's that thing. I'm not sure if it's still there, but I think that was not a too bad deal actually.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad deal. But the problem is the deliverable HoloLenses are very rare, are they? That's the problem we have with electronic for the whole time for the moment.
Really, I wonder about this because I also do not want to make advertising for vendor, but we usually buy them at Bechtle. And last time we had really a situation that somebody in UK couldn't get one, and then I got them after ordering at Bechtle in 2 days or something like this.
Bechtle.
So
okay, cool. There's another question, Christian. Bear sec with me.
All right, hi. Thanks for a great presentation. If you remember, there was a movie, the Minority Report, and there was a guy who worked with the documents, moving it with their hands. Yeah, the Tom Cruise hero. And currently there are plenty of online productivity tools like Miro, Ouija, and others. They are mostly working in a browser. But if they would take steps from their side, what would the general solution architecture look like? Which components would be used, and how would you connect everything with each other?
Yeah, that's in general, that's a good question, and it's a very big question because there are many things involved in this. For some technology and some very simple things like ergonomics. So exactly the example you took with Minority Report, it looks in a movie, it looks super cool, and we do not have to make a marketing session here. So it looks super cool in the movie, But my experience is when I set up a HoloLens, and you do that and you enter your password a certain time or you move things around, you will really feel pain here. So it's actually a topic that has to be solved because I work a lot. I have even this, this mouse with a wheel because I want to, to avoid pain on my, on my joint. And so this is really a good question because it looks good in demos, but actually from the ergonomic perspective, it's quite challenging because that things like this mouse pad and tracker, all these things are not there for no reason. So this is one thing. It's not 100% solved how to make it ergonomic. So maybe we need completely new concepts to do this. Now, as I said, I showed always the demo, but in reality, do that at a time and you will feel pain. Or you get arms like, you will look strong like Ralph later on. Maybe he used a lot of HoloLens. And then the other thing is technically, it depends really on the platform. You can build with WebXR, then you can build that thing. So technology-wise, it's even not that big challenge. You can do that in Unity. You can do it protocol-wise. We used in Holospaces. We also had that in protocol-wise. We even used for this kind of communication sometimes Signal R. and sometimes we used Unity Mirror or anything of technology. So, and what my experience is in general when you build that thing. So we build Holospaces completely from scratch. And let's say it's a prototype of kind of mesh. And what we learned at this thing is networking is quite complicated in that thing. And I really bet on mesh, and we really decided to deprecate the platform because it's really, really a lot of things that you have to consider with networking. And the plan of Microsoft, it maybe they didn't talk too much about anymore, is that recently, because they always talk about mesh for teams, but mesh will be a platform. And they will solve many of that issues, like connecting that with teams, with audio, making the synchronization between movements, and then it starts to get productivity. I would no one recommend, when he does not have $1 million budget or something like this, try to make complicated things, collaboration apps or something like this, because in detail, it's really heavy with networking, spatial audio, and it's So there are many things about. I think even the most hardest thing is honestly that it's not very ergonomic. Then when you make too much with the hands.
Yeah, they try to bring in the gesture because you're not disturbing your colleagues by talking the whole time to your HoloLens. I mean, we know that stuff from Alexa and everything. Yeah, mind control came up here. Would be one solution to have that a bit more economically for our body. Yeah, come on, give me some more jokes.
Yeah, wait. Oh, I have that here. That's a good thing. Wait. So I still have audio. Mind control. You for sure. I came with that idea too. That's also a nice device to play around.
Can you
Next
name it?
Mind. I can show you that. But let's say it even works with Unity, and I tried it. It even works with HoloLens. But let's say when you take it with HoloLens, it's not so big an advantage. It's very rough. You can concentrate on a certain area, and it brings some visual noise. And when you watch it, you can control it. But it does rather, in this case, exactly the same thing like you would do with the eye tracking. So it's currently on the HoloLens. It's not so big advantage, because you have to focus on something and it will control it. It's something that you could put, let me see, put it out. So I'm not sure if you can see it. It's something you can put on a head, for example. You put it at the back of the head and it works. I thought it would be harder that it's somehow to get it working, but it works quite well. But it's rather something like you watch on the left part of the screen and then you somehow click a button. So it's pretty similar currently like eye tracking.
Cool.
Christian. But it's definitely a very, very interesting approach.
And Said, thank you a lot for bringing up mixed reality to us now. And Said mentioned it already. You will go now into Metaverse.
Yeah, so at this part of the side, is that your battery?
No, I think your battery, Christian.
My battery? I have a stationary computer.
Or no, I think Ralph's, Ralph.
Yeah, and then maybe at this point, Ralph, so the people, I'm not sure what they're doing there. So don't you think it would be good when we maybe do a 5 minutes break for everybody to grab maybe a piece of pizza or a drink or something? Or you want to go directly?
We could do that, yes.
5 minutes break?
Yeah.
5 minutes break, it's okay. Christian, thanks a lot for here. 5 minutes break, we come back in time. Thank you.
Is it possible to ask questions after?
Christian, läuft gut. Danke. Sehr gut.
I use now that thing here on my head and then I can read your thoughts.
Yeah, okay. You can stay with English, it's okay with me. YouTube will stream forward. We do not stop the stream, the live stream.
Yeah,
You
that's
may
okay.
want
Yeah.
to share. You may want to share this the YouTube link. I will share with you.
So when so we said a short break. When
Thomas,
is it then at 18 or something?
Did you
Something like this.
Did you Twitter the YouTube link already? By any chance? Okay. On our Twitter account, the YouTube link is. Maybe you can retweet the correct wording. Zaid,
So
do you have still time, or do you have to leave?
That's fine. I'm here. All is good.
That's why I'm here. So you have to leave. That's why you are here. Is that true?
No, all is good. All is good. I rescheduled the other thing. It's fine.
That's great. Awesome to have you here as well, like Christian. And I guess it's bringing up some cool
So before
stuff.
the Metaverse, I should go to the restroom.
Yeah, go for it. Shut down your camera, for instance, and please mute. That could help to avoid accidental sounds. Accidental.
Ralph, you're using a really cool microphone. Which one is this?
So the microphone I'm using is the Rode set. You know that how is it called? The Rode Wireless Go 2. I can show you in the camera. Yeah, Bassag with me. Here you go.
We can only see the camera of the Surface or of the PC.
Yeah, where my hand is on.
Okay.
Okay, the guys here could see it. So it has two sender and one receiver, and I've put it to my Atom Blackmagic video mixer, which is plugged in by USB to my laptop, and that come up as a device in Teams, so I'm sharing to you. And beside that, the video mixer is also streaming to YouTube. So the picture,
cool. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Radler?
Where is Ralph? Yeah, I cannot hear you guys. Seems he muted you. But this are really a 5 developer minutes break.
Christian, mit so viel Pause hast
the
du gar nicht
Rockstar is
geregnet.
back.
Ja?
Woo!
Mit so viel Pause hast du nicht gerechnet, Christian.
Huh?
Ja, hier bin ich.
I don't, I sit very comfortable here. I have everything. I have time till 12 o'clock.
Time till 0, you mean? 12 p.m.
To tell you
12 p.m.
cool stories
day,
or complain about the metaverse. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to explore now the metaverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to do that with. I want to tell you a little bit about this.
Christian,
Yes.
there are still questions left regarding the HoloLens and all that stuff. We will try to answer the questions at the end of your session about the metaverse. Just that you have it in mind, please. And now I'm handing over to you, and let's.
So 1 second, there are questions left with regards to HoloLens.
Yeah, we will left it, and we will yet have the metaverse. Afterwards, we go into the questions left over. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Shall I bring you into
Yeah,
Spotlight?
that's. I will share soon something, but first I give you also a little bit practice, because we have in Saarland, we have a saying, VR ist nicht gut für die Haar. That's why I recommend everybody with virtual reality, that is the perfect virtual reality haircut. So that just that you know that's. And I'm also, we never talk about the build, so I'm very glad to show you here every news of the build. What is new from the build? So, and I'm super happy to share your super early preview of what Microsoft announced on the build. Mesh for Teams. That's it. That's Mesh for Teams. Yeah. So before we made on missed the recap. So let's say the major announcement of the last build. Let's say for all the people who are a little bit deeper in the metaverse, it was not, let's say, too exciting what Microsoft announced. So they already announced a longer time. They announced Mesh. I am not sure how many. 1.5 years ago, short afterwards, they announced Mesh for Teams. So now on the last build, they got a little bit more concrete about Mesh for Teams. And so my personal feeling and opinion is the first thing we will see of Mesh for Teams will be just the avatar. I'm curious what the press will write about this, because we talk so long about the metaverse, and then Microsoft comes with an avatar. So let's say for people a little bit deeper in that topic, it's not too exciting to have avatar here, because there are already many apps that you can, virtual cam apps, you can use things like this. So they for sure they put a lot of AI and things into it. But let's say when you talk about the metaverse, just the avatar is not the most exciting thing. So that's at least my personal thing. But don't get me wrong here. I'm 100% sure, and that's why we also deprecated even Holospaces in favor for Mesh. I'm 100% sure that Microsoft eventually get a leader in that thing. And let's say maybe it's also a smart strategy from Microsoft. When we be honest, the metaverse is currently super hyped, even maybe a little overhyped. Everybody's totally crazy about it, but be honest, when Microsoft brings out Mesh for Teams, who will actually really use that? We have devices like HoloLens, they are not made for Mesh for Teams or Metaverse, and they're super expensive. Then you have on the other side, you have devices like, I barely can see it, like Meta Quest, Facebook Quest, Oculus Quest, however you want to call it now. It's just Meta Quest officially. So they're quite cheap, and I would call it even the iPhone of the virtual reality devices. They're around 350 euros, but in Germany you can even not buy them still, I guess, because they force you to have a Facebook login. And then you have Microsoft mixed reality devices. You need kind of a game computer for it, and that's also most unlikely. So, and then by the way, MetaQuest, Facebook, they're working on device management to make device management manageable like an Android device, but it's still all not really there. So to be honest, Microsoft set themselves so they do not let themselves forced by the press or by something. They just do their thing with Mesh for Teams. But the reality is everybody want to see it, but actually the hardware is also not 100% right. So I'm 100% convinced we will hear soon very great things about Mesh, and it will get rather awesome. But let's talk about the last build. What we saw there wasn't too exciting, but it will get exciting. So that's just about, let's say, what we see on that. And then there's also, when you follow Microsoft a little bit, Metaverse, that was a really complicated term at Microsoft. So there was one important thing that Satya actually told in his keynote about industrial metaverse in metaverse at all, because before Microsoft still coined everything with mixed reality, and many of the communication was mixed reality because Facebook and Meta and everything. It's let's say Meta, maybe they weren't so stupid about this, because there are some things like Pampas or Tempo, and that was quite smart from Meta or Facebook to do the renaming. So, however, that's about the build. There may be not too exciting, too concrete announcements about this. But I promise eventually Microsoft Mesh gets really great. So I'm rather play here always the bad guy. So, Said, maybe you want to say something to this topic, what we saw in the build?
Yes, of course. So I don't know, can people see me or?
It doesn't matter. We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, no worries. So yeah, the fascinating things, for example, I saw that was introduced by Microsoft Mesh for Teams was the idea or the fact that you can, in the future with Microsoft Mesh for Teams, get into Teams calls directly via Teams, basically, and join immersive meetings. So this is really the big highlight I saw in there, the idea of how accessible Mesh for Teams would be, and opening a very wide worldwide audience the opportunity to join calls either immersively or via video.
So why you tell a little bit about this? Go ahead. I just maybe bring some background slides about what Microsoft has shown. So just go ahead. In a bit, maybe we will come then to the definition of the metaverse. But here again, you can see the really cool fact how Microsoft really invested a lot of, on the one hand, in the visual styling of the avatars. So really, you have this cartoonish, good-looking avatars, and it reminds me a lot of a Disney movie. So people can really put very interesting, cool matches in there. So maybe we can go further, 1 or 2 slides more, Christian. Exactly, and here we can. Exactly, and here we saw also we see another scenario of people communicating together in the metaverse, and how the visuals are really so cool, and the environment. I like the shirt of this guy. I also want to wear that later. And then we see.
This is what you introduced, Christian. You can maybe say a few words about this.
No, I don't know. I saw more words about this, but yeah, I'm really glad that you mentioned that with the Teams integration, because we see that on this slide here a little bit. So that's why I'm 100%.
The one after, I think the one of the customization, maybe that's cool. Maybe
Go back to
some
Avatar.
slides further to the right. Yeah, this one. This one, I love it. I'm really mind blown on this. I can really create many connections to this. So you can see here directly in Microsoft Mesh for Teams, you would be able to customize your avatar directly in Teams, having a variety of clothes that you can wear, and basically it reminds me a bit of the Sims game. So, and I'm very curious how would be this, how Mesh for Teams would really be the application of it in the future.
Right, let's be honest here. You always wear the same sweater. Since I know you in Altspace, you never changed the sweater or anything.
Yeah.
So I think you might see this screen only once in your life because you always wear the same sweater.
That's correct. So yeah, there's a really cool sweatshirt that I like to wear in AltspaceVR. So, but here you can see really the details and the styling and how Microsoft really invested a lot in the visualization and the 3D styling and modeling and arting the avatars. And this is a really game changer because this would be reflecting the people who would be joining these immersive meetings.
Yeah, thanks, Syed. So thanks for your opinion, but I'm not too excited about the avatar things. Maybe I'm already too long in this, and there are other platforms like Ready Player Me or something where they take your own picture and transfer this. Let's say they did it cool. I like the avatars, but I think it's not the most game-changing feature. You said game changer, and I really think it's good that you bring that up. I forgot to mention that because I'm already too deep in this. The really game changer here is the people will not have virtual reality devices at the beginning. And we found that out when we do our own meetings. When you always force the people, either they have virtual reality or they do not have it, it will not work. And then there's also things people also do not think about it, but it's a communication software and it has the same security and compliance requirements than any other software. And currently, all that software on the market does not fill the requirements for enterprise and security. And everybody, or almost everybody, use really Microsoft Teams. And Microsoft has the chance with that integration. You either join with your Teams call, like Syed did with, you saw it, you just could join with the HoloLens, or you join with a virtual reality device and be in a space like this. And so people have an easy chance to, some join with virtual reality, some join with HoloLens, others join with a mobile phone, others join with a desktop. And I think this is the really, really big advantage of Microsoft, and it will directly be compliant and it will be directly fine. And the others, they don't have this advantage. So I'm really 100% sure Microsoft gets the leader. I call it the business metaverse. I'm 100% convinced Microsoft will make that. And that's, as I said, why we even did that strategically decision to deprecate at Holospaces in favor for Mesh. Because you do not want to try to fight against Microsoft in such a mainstream thing. That doesn't make sense. We better partner with them. So be aware that that's most likely for the business metaverse quite important. But let's jump back, because this is really what we talk about, is what actually is this metaverse thing everybody talks about now? And this is also a not so easy question than it might seem. It's originally also from an older book or something like this, but what people understand from it. So there is let's say, when you also check out Wikipedia, or let's say the common thing is that everybody agrees on it is the next evolution of the internet. I even would say, because it's not a small change, I even would say it's a revolution of the internet. And this is the part where everybody agrees. But how that actually looks like in the end, this is where people have different opinions. There are opinions like there will be only one metaverse, that is then that metaverse. Then there are other people, they say there will be many metaverses. And it remembers me a little bit like the physicians already fight a long time ago. If there's only one world, if there are parallel worlds, string theory, and it feels a little bit in the metaverse. We are now in the physics and talk about how many worlds will there be actually. So this is something in the metaverse. And then for me, it's basically, it means we work in the internet. It's something like the internet. We work already a long time in the internet, and now it was always more 2D, and now it gets 3D. And I think that is the big change. That things not just to be 2D, then will get 3D. And the difference is now in the future, maybe a measurable example. In the future, we will not just go to a website or surf on a website. You will go into the website. You will be part of the metaverse. So it's something completely different. Let's say it's get kind of an immersive internet. And this is the really exciting thing about it. And how that actually looks like, nobody really knows exactly. It's a little bit like we talk about, e-business in the past, or let's imagine in the 80s. You imagine in the 80s how the internet would look like, what we built with that. We built websites with self-HTML. Maybe somebody like me started even with self-HTML. And we started to build, weird websites. And later on, we built on the same protocol stack. We built things like Microsoft Teams. We built a lot of things on this stack and communication software. And the metaverse will make that all 3D. So nobody really knows how it looks like in the end currently. But I think it's very, very clear that it gets a disruptive change. And just to see, because the term is so used so much, there are many people talking about metaverse and they say they do metaverse. Currently, nobody actually has a metaverse because it's not there, but everybody talks about it. There one part that these are apps like Horizon, like AltspaceVR. That's what I here call virtual worlds. That's like Horizon, Allspace, VR chat. When somebody knows apps like this, they're coming from this virtual world approach. They're talking about metaverse. They call themselves metaverse. Then you have another community. They're also talking about metaverse. It's Web 3.0. I would rather say these are things like Decentraland, you maybe heard that, or Sandbox. But they have another focus. They're focused on owning things. You must imagine it's a completely strange world. It's completely digital. It's the very extreme digitalization. And then the people think a lot about how you own things in a complete virtual reality, in a complete virtual world. And this is what they're coming from: blockchain, NFT, owning things. But it's rather currently more browser and 2D, but they also claim the term metaverse for themselves. And then you have technologies like, we built even the coolest website. In the end, it's JavaScript and HTML. And we built many things with that. And imagine mixed reality, AR, VR, however you call it, Microsoft Mixed Reality Toolkit. These are actually the tools we use to build a metaverse. And then that's something that many people forget. It's also quite important for AI. I really was never be a big fan, to talking to my mobile phone, Cortana, blah, 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 or Siri, or it's not so cool somehow. It feels unnatural. And imagine in a virtual reality or even in mixed reality, you can talk to a real avatar. You can give AI a face, you can give AI a body. And so it will also be a new level of AI because we can really more natural interact with them, not just talking with a black box or, that's with Alexa or something like this. So these are the things, they all will converge to something we call the metaverse. It's actually not there, but virtual worlds, Web 3.0, AR, VR, mixed reality, they all talk about metaverse. It's actually not there. It's a term like cloud computing. 10 years or even 12 years ago, I'm not 100% sure, we start talking about cloud computing. Now nobody talks about cloud computing anymore. It's just there. And eventually, when the metaverse is there, nobody will talk about it because then we call it reality. And so you must see it's an umbrella term for a big movement into an immersive new web. And this is actually what a metaverse actually is. And it's just not, fantasy talking or something like this. There are a lot of marketing research institutes that they said there's a lot of market value and opportunity here. This is one a few months ago. Bloomberg said it's a 800 billion market, and you will find only news like this. So even it might be now a little bit overhyped. That's always, this hype cycle. Even it's a little bit overhyped. It is the next big thing that we will see in IT. And maybe also one thing that many people forget, when you do all this Azure and cloud stuff, maybe people do not see that. in the end, you always need a backend system. So when we build actually mixed reality apps, and we need Vision AI, we need Azure functions to store that things. We even discussed for the networking hosting part Kubernetes, but I told you I didn't want that. So as let's say the good thing for all the people doing the cloud computing, it's just another front end. So that's a good thing about this. The bad thing about this, it's a little bit more complicating to build the front end for it. It's not like painting on a small paper something and it get it through. For usability and for all the people building UI, it's quite hard. So we talked a little bit about ergonomics and things like this. And it's really, really much more complicated to build a UI in a three-dimensional way than just building a UI in 2D. Even these days, you find apps that are not very usable. And let's say it's exponentially more complicated to build a good 3D UI. So let me see where we are here. So there are many people that already want to try something. Mesh for Teams is still not there. But there's one also nice Microsoft product, maybe many heard of it, AltspaceVR. So because now everybody talks about it, one gets hand-on, want to try it. Currently, there is no mesh. And what we are currently doing is we give the people a flavor of virtual worlds in the metaverse and how it looks like with AltspaceVR. AltspaceVR, for the people who do not know it, Microsoft, I think, acquired them 5 or 6 years ago. I cannot remember exactly. It was one and is still one of the most famous social VR applications. And let's say the UI is a little bit old school because it was really one of the first things that we saw on the internet. But there are also things when you talk with the community, and they do not care if it's Microsoft Horizon or something like this. When you talk with the Allspace community, why really many people decide to this, beside the standard worlds that you see in Allspace, you have as an artist, you have a lot of freedom what you can build UI-wise there. And you can build own shaders. I call it when you're not in this thing. It's I don't know how it's called in English, Lackierer. Like you can give it different materials and you can build really exciting things visually in Allspace. This is really an advantage. And that's why really in the community, it's still one of the favorite tools. So, but you can also do certain things already to try virtual mixed reality. You can try the metaverse, how it might look like in Allspace already. And there are some things that work already quite good. And what people like, for example, is having town halls to just give people the feeling how it is to talk in a virtual stage. And what is even a little more benefit and what many people forget is the part, many people have only 2D. And the advantage, watching a keynote then and just moving to the avatar, that works in Teams already quite well. But what is really advantage is we do a lot of after parties. That's where Said, always love to have his cocktails, and you see a lot of pictures drinking him only in virtual reality. In reality, he never drinks something, but in virtual reality, he's always drunk.
That's very.
This is really a big difference. So when you have even with the space, you have the spatial audio, and what people miss in events like this is there's one group talking. I'm not sure what happened in the pizza area there, but usually there's one group here talking about a topic. There's one group talking here about a different topic, and you have the choice. You see them talking. You think, I joined that group. You go, stand there, listen a short, and then you may join the talk. And this is currently in Teams quite hard. So, and this is even an advantage, this kind of socializing, because you have the spatial audio. You only can hear people when you're close to them, that you already have even in a 2D client. And so what we really like is to do after even Teams event, do social parties, because we really could, we could virtually pros, cheers. We could do that really virtually and talk in different things. So this is a big advantage. And it's even that more, even customers like a bank, like for example, Deutsche Bank, tried. And I just give you a small introduction how it might look like a town hall in AltspaceVR.
Hello. Welcome all to the Winter Wonderland for Deutsche Bank, hosted in AltspaceVR. My name is Asaf Jinnah, and I'm the Global Technology Strategist for Microsoft. We are particularly proud to be here with the Deutsche Bank team, as this is one of the first banks entering the Metaverse, especially for an event such as this, a Winter Wonderland with challenges and competitions and a new way of communicating and collaborating with those all around the world.
DB has now started to roll out Teams. It brings together the full collaboration experience into a single location. We see this evolution continuing, and AltspaceVR is a good example of how we see those technologies developing in the future.
Yeah, and everyone, welcome to the Metaverse. Really exciting. With virtual reality, you have the first communication technology that is able to touch your emotions and to trigger your instincts. It's a collaboration platform. You can build your own experience. It's not just a marketing idea or a hype or something. There's really science behind it, why it will be the next big thing for communication.
Seeing this in action for the first time has certainly sprung a lot of ideas up on how the bank can use this technology to our advantage in the future.
Yeah, so that just gave you a small introduction how it looks like. It was actually the Christmas party, but Zaid loves usually to talk about this event.
Yeah, of course, I love to this. To be honest, this Deutsche Bank experience was my very first experience entering the Metaverse. So it was also a great opportunity to get to know AltspaceVR, to see the different interaction possibilities that are in there, because what I also really love here is we were able basically to bring Deutsche Bank from all around the world, the worldwide team, to join together Altspace and celebrate Christmas in there. So thinking of playing with snowball fights, grilling marshmallows, and hearing keynotes. So this is, I think, a very special momentum for people entering this for the first time.
Hey.
Yeah, thanks for the addition. So we did a lot more of that event. We recently did an onboarding or social event after the telecom onboarding of their new employees and something like this. So the social aspect currently works quite well also on Altspace, and just see it's a preview version or a preceder of what we will see in Mesh. That will be the next level. It will make much possibilities. And when we talk about this slide is a little bit older already. Let me see the animations here. We do not need that. But the original idea, and that's still the plan, is that Mesh will become a platform where you can build your own experience on top of it. And so that's a good thing for us as in the IT business. I can promise you it get not boring for us. We will have plenty to do. And currently, I can tell you also from business perspective, this time it's really this year it gets really crazy. Also from the business and economic perspective, what's just going on in this topic since the Metaverse will come. And there will be later on eventually, that's also announced already, I don't know, 1.5 years ago, there is also the plan to have a marketplace for new apps for partners and everything. So there will be a lot of new opportunity for us. And I can also everybody somehow recommend just, imagine something completely, how his business model or how something could work completely digital. Or it's not so easy. We have also other customers like we do a lot recently, even in Asia. So we have a customer, it's called AIA. You may never heard that. I also didn't do that. I never heard them before, but they're actually one of the largest life insurance. And they have the claim, healthier, longer, better lives for everyone. And we are working with them on making that claim true, not even just in reality. We think, how can this claim be true in the Metaverse? And we do things like virtual yoga, like meditation, and try a lot of things where they consider how that might look like in in a completely digital world, and they are in all these banks and all they also check a lot about NFT, blockchain, Web 3.0. You see, there's a lot going on in this area, and it's really not just marketing and hype. There are really a lot of invests in this area currently. So I'm 100% convinced it will be that big next thing after cloud computing. It will be Metaverse. So I think we come now. I think that's a good ending for this talk, and I really wish we can now, maybe have some question and talk a little bit about your ideas and what you do. What do you think about it? I'm really curious to hear that.
Ich höre dich. Du möchtest deine Fragen haben, oder? Christian?
Ja, keine Ahnung, vielleicht.
Also wir haben
vielleicht seid ihr schon eingeschlafen, aber ja, also mir wäre jetzt eher so, ich würde sagen, halt beim interaktiven Teil, ich meine, ich kann auch noch 2 Stunden jetzt weiter über verschiedene Sachen erzählen, aber ich denke, damit die Leute mir nicht einschlafen, wäre es gut, wenn wir es jetzt ein bisschen interaktiver machen.
Who has questions? Haben wir online questions?
I have a question. What is the best practical way to enter quote-unquote Metaverse, and what is the barrier for entry?
You must maybe give me a little bit more context what you mean, mean personally for develop something, or in your company to get a first thing, so a little bit more context for the would be great.
As a .NET developer.
Sorry, I didn't hear it.
As a developer.
As a developer, what's the best thing to start with this? So there are 2 different flavors. I'm not sure where you're coming from. So there is currently a big movement in all that what is called WebXR. So when you're maybe coming from web development, I cannot tell you which approach later on succeed. So there is a community. They're coming also a lot from Mozilla Hubs, where you can build things with Three.js, A-Frame, or Babylon.js from Microsoft, where you can build also over web. There's a web standard for this. But the experience that you build, currently the UIs are not so great. So building that, the EDI, the development environments are not so great. And the experience are not so high end. And then there's another thing you can try. That's Unity. Let's say we talk before. Ralph also talked a little bit about Maui. I always think rather about Holiday, but yeah, it's a cross-platform development platform. And actually, Unity is the same. So, and Unity is currently very good in cross-platform, like let's say like Maui, but you can build 3D experiences. And I think Unity is currently also, Microsoft has this kind of a favor for building HoloLens. You can build Quest apps. You can build of any app with Unity. And they have also plenty of tutorials. So when you are maybe very into web development, you might also take the WebXR flavor. Or when you say, hey, you want to try something new, try the Unity thing. And so I also have a .NET developer background. So I was really surprised. It looks so magically when you see the games and everything. It looks like, wow, there must be gods when they program this. But actually, Unity is quite cool. Even Sai, imagine, can program something there. So I think everybody can do it. Aside, yeah. So now, be honest. It's really, I would recommend maybe try a Unity tutorial. It can be really quite fun.
You can stop now.
Aside, what do you think? You and this, I started with .NET 1.1, I don't know, I very early with that stuff, and you came very new to it. So what was your way to do this?
Yeah, so the first connection to me, or starting developing things for mixed reality, was actually the start in Unity 3D, because it unifies .NET C#. So the deprogramming knowledge that you have. And I'm a person, for example, that I never really understood much of the logic happening throughout a specific script or program that we write. And the cool thing in Unity, on the one hand, you have the 3D representation, the 3D aspect overview in there, and at the same time writing the script. So if you say, for example, if you write a script you want to rotate an object, you see directly the outcome happening in 3D in front of you. And this was, to me, a very important momentum and helped me a lot going deeper into programming and understanding the things happening in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's also an important thing that you said. So when you're coming from the C# area, actually the preferred programming language for Unity is C#.
Yeah.
When you may be very, very good, when you're good in web development, maybe WebXR would be something good for you, but C#, yeah, that's the mother language of Unity.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Great. Then we have a few more questions, Christian. Per sec.
Before the augmented reality and XR will be really so the same widespread as the mobile phones right now, it's only the early adopters who are really using it. And are these mostly the guys who like 3D games, or what is the current group, and which will be the next group that will make it even wider? Will it go in a business direction or in something else, in entertainment?
So I answer first, and Said can tell more the Microsoft-like version. So let's say AR, XR, currently it's not so loud anymore around this. So HoloLens is a great business device, and for things like remote assist and something, it makes sense. And even when you compare to a flight to somewhere, when you compare to this, it's okay. But it's zero consumer device, and Microsoft do not try to sell it as a consumer device, that's for sure. So, and we, unfortunately, what means unfortunately, it's okay. The best strategy, I think, currently we see here is Apple. Because what they are doing, maybe people do not realize that directly, but they bring the AR kit and something like this. They bring it out years ago, and people can already program, also with Unity, by the way, it's cross-platform, can program these apps. And before, they just used 2D projection, even for making apps like for spatial apps. And then in the latest, 2 years ago, the iPhone became the feature, the LiDAR scanner. And the LiDAR scanner actually is a depth sensor. Imagine it's something like the HoloLens has this spatial understanding. And this LiDAR sensor that comes into the mobile phones has the same. So you get a much better spatial tracking. So, and people start to build apps with that, games and everything. So Apple takes that approach. The developers already develop for this thing on the Apple platform, and they get more and more features, but there is not the classes. But eventually, and the Apple is really careful. I bet they want to do it could be even that it takes 2 years. I cannot promise you. The people always, every time they have an event, the people say, oh, this time the AR glasses will come. But they postpone it because they do not want to take the risk. There are some people, Said is not one of them. They think HoloLens is not very sexy. And Apple, they do not want to bring out a device like this. That would not be what Apple want. They want to have a device where people think that's cool, that's sexy, and they're waiting as long as this is ready. And my personal opinion is that Apple will make it like the iPhone that they will make it mainstream. I think Microsoft will not succeed in this thing. I think that will be Apple. But for us, as the people who build the apps, it does not matter too much because, as I said to you before, it's just another front end. You need all the magic and Azure behind it. So it's just another front end for you. But I think Apple will be, that's my personal opinion. So Apple will be the company who will make it mainstream.
Christian, on the other hand, for example, I think 2 weeks ago, we heard of this Cambria device from Facebook. What are your thoughts in there? So we saw Mark Zuckerberg putting on this device, and that is really emerging virtual reality and augmented reality and booming the mixed reality at the same time.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
Do you think people want to run like this? You know, do you think that's something? The people think that's sexy. The people, I don't know. That's, you do not want to run out like this, you know. And
Yeah,
remember,
I totally agree on this point. So what you just mentioned, that we are currently in this prototyping phase, really investing in different developer technologies to, at the end of the day, hopefully soon, to create the big bang sexy device soon.
But again, yeah, for us, I'm not sure if you're a developer background or not. The good thing for us is with platforms like Unity and things like this, we do not really care about if Apple will succeed, if it will be Google or Microsoft, because Unity or like platforms like Maui or Unity, they're cross-platform. So, you know, the idea will survive. It doesn't matter on which classes you deploy that in the end. So that's a good part about. From our perspective, we are really not dependent on which hardware will succeed.
Things, Christian. So, and they are not still alive. So let's see what happens at the end of the day. We still have some questions here, so go ahead.
Usually, military industry and aerotic industry have a lot of money. Are they in front of the metaverse, or are they behind?
I think even when I could answer this, I couldn't answer it, because then I think it would be strictly NDA. I think what we see, at least public here, is that there was this big deal between Microsoft and the US military, but in the end, I think it didn't end that well, because as I said, I think the technology, it remembers me, the current status of this technology is, even Said is a big HoloLens fan, he do not want to hear it. We are the technology-wise, it remembers me when I was a teenager and I went to the public swimming pool, and the people had the first mobile phones there, and they need a whole bag to bring that in the swimming pool. And the people laugh somehow that they had this really big thing there. And I have the feeling we are in this stage of the development. So I think for sure they have a close look on it, but they will currently do not have too many real cases there. And as I said, even when that is there, that would be strictly NDA. But I'm sure, as you see, the US military had a very keen look on it.
Okay, thanks. Does that answer the question?
Yes. Hello, guys. I have a question about the development agro parks. So we make technology for investments in agro parks via blockchain. So small investors invest in the development agro parks. With your technology, is it possible to look about the progress of growth in agro parks, like a Metaverse? So people make invest, for example, $5,000 or $10,000 and have a device with Metaverse and can see what the progress of the building agro parks. Is it possible or no? Thanks.
At this time, you're allowed to go ahead, because I'm always the first person to jump in.
Unfortunately, would you please repeat the question? I did not really understood what you meant.
The question about development agro parks, agro-industrial parks, with the grain, with the food. And small investor via blockchain make investments in the growth in agro parks. With help of your technology, is it possible to look how it grows in? So how it development the land, after this how grows the grain, vegetables, fruits, and something like this. Because first of all we think about BIM technology, BIM technology for the development buildings. But is it too much energy? Is it so expensive? But Metaverse maybe is more cheaper.
Mm-hmm. So what I think is basically, when it comes always to topics, you want to visualize information or have a real representation of visualizing processes that you want to have, that you have in your daily work life. it is a great opportunity to try experimenting with devices like the HoloLens and the mixed reality spectrum. So we saw before throughout the presentation or in the introduction part, we saw when we saw this use case having the HoloLens device in a factory where a person is inspecting some challenges on a machine, and then an engineer is helping him. So this is one of the common use cases in there, but also in the agriculture, this is a very interesting topic. I personally did not really dive in there and saw specific applications of the HoloLens in there. But anyways, any use case that needs 3D visualizations or you need to have a closer look or a new perspective on a specific topic, I think investing in the mixed reality spectrum is a good chance.
Agriculture, so that's the question is what you want to achieve there. So I think I had one talk with somebody who wanted to see how a seed grows, that he sometimes measured that. I'm not sure what exactly. It seems there are also different cases in this. So what actually what value you want to have out of it, or what do you expect, what you want to see, what should be the output?
Because I see for the small investors, not for the funds or for big investors, is it very important to see how money is working. So this is not a scam projects. It is not a dark projects. When you create a set that you make investigation in the buildings and exactly is the scam or is it dark projects? And the people who investments need to understand this is really projects and this is growing a system and this is this is growth system and grows some valuable materials. Because in blockchain, 95% of projects is a scam. That's why it's important.
Don't tell that the blockchain community or the NFT community. Yeah, for sure, that's also a little bit overhyped. So everything what is regard construction or building things, they really invest a lot of this. For example, a friend of mine or even a shareholder of our company, they even have a whole company just for real estate or to go in this direction. I'm 100% sure every kind of business or almost every kind of business process will get somehow interaction with the metaverse. I cannot tell you 100% when is the right moment to jump in different industries. There might some industries, there will be first movers. I think personally, the entertainment industry will be one of the first movers. But I'm 100% sure it will be. And beside all that hype and everything, I'm 100% sure this is the right way to go. But the important thing is you must find the right use case. Just making something digital does not always make it better. So you have to check what is the value for your stakeholders, what is the value for your customer. But we see in the future everything gets a 3D flavor.
Thank you. More questions? So Christian, Said, the thing is, you made it. So here's your applause.
Made it.
Thank you for being here.
We made it.
Yeah, cool.
You finally made it. So
we made it.
You can now hang up, Said, because you're under pressure.
We made it.
Awesome.
So, but now we have also some questions.
You also have some questions.
I have some questions. So, I'm curious. After this talk, maybe who think the metaverse will be the next big thing in the IT business?
Okay.
So
give me your hand.
That people raise now the hand.
Raise the hand, and I count it down. 2, 3.
I think we didn't make it. We did not make it.
3. It didn't make it.
If you're wrong, we did not make it. We did not make it.
I'm so sorry. Whose bad was it?
Ralph, what's with you? I didn't see your hand.
So I'm believing in Metaverse. Okay, it was fun having you here and seeing all that fantastic upcoming technologies here, and for sure it is a challenge. It is a challenge about hardware, it is a challenge about acceptance, it is a challenge about technology itself, by having the correct broadband, by having all that stuff together. And as I'm saying that, you've mentioned it already, with a cell phone we had the same shit. So they once was that size.
Yeah, you remember that too.
Then they went very small, tiny, and was foldable. And after that, they made a growth again. So now the devices are a little bit, like showers. So there's somewhere must be the remote of the TV.
Some of them are
Yeah, do you see it got so small you cannot find it anymore.
The remote is so small. Yeah, I'm back in a minute.
Yeah, he just wants to shut us up.
No, I'm not wanting to shut you. The thing is that that I'm having acoustic coupling there, and I want to avoid that. But I cannot see that. Okay. Did anyone take the remote from me?
Is it by the window, isn't it? The small thing. No.
Nope. Okay.
Shut them down manually.
No, I have another idea. It's okay. I'm going shutting them down on another way. It is that we hear my voice also over the TV and not only yours. Okay, so we have had a bunch of news tonight. You can have that on YouTube. On our Twitter account, you'll have the link directly to our YouTube. So it'll be stored there, and you can rejoin and review all our topics of tonight. I'm really thankful that Christian and Zaid was here to share the news about Metaverse and all that stuff with us, and that we had the chance to talk to them and to have an idea about what the Metaverse is one-on-one, which was a real cool thing. Thank you for being here. Your once more applause. And then we're going to shut down if you don't have any questions anymore.
Nice. Hopefully seeing you guys in Berlin soon.
Hopefully we're going to see us there. Cool. It
Cheers.
was a pleasure to have you here. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye. Great. That was a great session. Having all that stuff with us here was really cool. Having you in person here was also cool. Thanks a lot for being here, and we hope to see you next up in July. We're having a cool meetup next in July, which will be about digital learning and the Metaverse again a little bit. And AI for sure. So stay tuned, follow us, and sign up for the next meetup. Hope to see you soon again then. Thank you, and have a nice evening. Bye-bye. Take care. And you outside, thank you for visiting us, joining, listening, and viewing us and having fun. No questions so far from outside, so stay tuned with the next one. Don't forget to click the abonnement, and don't forget to ring the bell to be informed.